Hello and welcome to week 2. I hope your week 1 has gone well. I hope you have been successful in focusing on your calories, your steps, and your exercise. So we're going to go on from that this week in really nailing and optimizing your lifestyle, your food planning, and your exercise routine. So very similar to last week, but just going a little bit deeper. And then next week, we'll start to develop and embed the knowledge of the energy balance and how it's affecting you. So if you have any questions, jot them down as you go along, message them to me, and we can chat more about them. So in week 1, we had the first 3 of this. We were focusing on our calories, we're focusing on our steps and our exercise, and now in week 1, I'm focusing in on lifestyle to develop the reset for you. So with the calories, going to focus on calories for the first bit of the chat. How have you got on? Have you managed to track your calories? Are you more aware of the calories that are coming into your body? Are you more aware of the value of the calories? Hope so. If you've got any questions about tracking calories or anything to do with calories, let me know. So we're going to go a little bit deeper with the calories this week. So again, thinking about tracking the calories, if you can track with using an app, this is going to be really useful this week because we're going to go a little bit deeper and look at macronutrients, and then we can start to think about how the macronutrients affect our body. So this week, I want you to try to have at least 20% of protein within your daily calories. So the 20% of protein is the minimum, and you might find it's actually quite hard to get that, especially if you're vegetarian, but I can help you with some other resources to help with that. For that 20% of protein, if you have got a protein source in each of your meals, 3 meals a day, that will really help. If you have protein sources for snacks, it might be you want to have a protein shake as a meal or as a snack to help with that as well. If you have a goal of fat or weight loss, then if the given protein within the daily calories, you want to try and get 30% protein, at least 30 to 40% really is the given range for reaching the fat loss, weight loss targets. But to be honest, to start with, I would get 20% protein, at least 20% protein within every day first. So you're making sure you're really getting to grips with the protein sources that work for you. Now, if you need help with protein sources, I can help you with that as well. But I don't want to go overkill on that. So nice and simple, at least 20%. Talking about macronutrients still, so we have got carbohydrates, proteins, and fats as the main macronutrients we're going to look at. When you are tracking your calories, you want to have up to 55% carbs. Now, we are in a bit of a carb nation, a carb generation maybe. So we're in the generation of having a plate of pasta, and quite often a plate of pasta might constitute your actual meal. So we want to try and get into a position where a quarter of our plate is protein, quarter of our plate is a source of carbs, and half a plate is the veggies, to try and overcome so many carbs within our diet. If you're struggling with this, let me know and I can help you. Using an app such as MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck will help you to be able to see down that analysis, especially NutriCheck. As I am recording this, NutriCheck isn't charging you to use the macronutrients tool, but MyFitnessPal is. And also NutriCheck, you can use the barcoding scanner, which really helps to know. So you can always just track some foods as you go, but to really reach those goals and to really get that understanding of your calories, I would track for a whole day, and I would try and get at least 20% of protein within the calories, up to 55% carbs. The fats will vary from day to day, but if you have got a high fat load each day, you might find you're not reaching that goal. For example, I had a client who wasn't losing her weight. She had always at least 20% of protein within her calories, but her fats and quite a few days were high. So she might have smoked salmon, eggs, steak in one day, which was quite high fat content. Once she started to become more aware of the fat content, she started to lose weight. And then she was reaching the goal that she wanted to, and she saw the difference within her body composition as well. So when I'm talking about tracking, try and track the night before or the morning of the day. The night before is better because then you can be prepared and you know exactly what you're going to be eating. So you're putting into your tracker, your MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck, you'll put in what food you're going to have the next day, put down your snacks, put in your drinks, put in all the fats you're going to be using. If you're struggling to have accuracy, you can estimate it because that is still better than nothing. Because honestly, this understanding of your calories is a massive game changer in reaching your goals. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so let's move on. So the next thing we were looking at last week was steps. So hopefully you now have a way of tracking your steps. So now this week, I want you to create a non-negotiable for every single day. For example, 8,000 steps. Or you might know, I can't do 8,000 steps. Again, my non-negotiable is 5,000 steps. Have your non-negotiable so you know you're getting those steps in every single day. Some days it's going to be more, fine. For those days that are sedentary, really plan in advance and think, what can you do to change, to create more steps for more daily movement? Can you park the car further away? Have you got 15 minutes that you can go for a walk? If you can plan in a 15-minute walk every day, that is going to really, really help your steps and it will help your health as well. Now, I had a question. So someone says to me, well, I've got 12,000 steps, but they're really just quite sedentary. Whereas other days I've got 8,000 steps, but I know I'm going at a higher intensity. So the intensity does matter. We're not really doing steps to have a sweat on, but the intensity, if you're going to do 8,000 steps, a bit more power walking, a bit more higher intensity, that is going to have a greater health benefit because you're using your cardiovascular system as well. So if it comes down to time, you think, well, actually, I can go for a 15-minute power walk, then that intensity will help. Just want to check in about how you're tracking. So some people use phones, some people use watches, some people use pedometers. You can buy pedometers pretty cheap on the internet nowadays. You can buy a smartwatch, about £20 on the internet, which is essentially tracking your steps. If you do not want to, or you may be at work, you can't wear a device to track your steps, you can use time. So we want to aim for at least 15 minutes walk a day. So you could use time. Don't worry if you're not tracking using a smartwatch or smartphone, etc., etc. But we want to know these steps. I was chatting to someone this week, actually. She exercises twice a week. She's feeling fit and strong. And she's like, well, actually, on some days, I'm only on 3,000 steps. It was just through a conversation. And now she started upping her steps and she's feeling better. She's feeling more energized. So the steps are a massive health benefit for you. Okay, finally, the last thing we looked at last week was exercise. Hopefully you have got to grips with the Infinite Balance training app and you're happy with this. What I want you to have a think about is how many minutes did you do across the week? So the NHS recommends 75 minutes vigorous, 150 minutes moderate. Now, that is actually quite steep for the everyday person, but as we're on the reset program, this is a great task for us to try and reach. 75 minutes of vigorous, 150 minutes of moderate exercise. Now, this week, I want you to think about your minutes, plan out how many minutes, and see if you can get closer to those 75 minutes vigorous, 150 minutes moderate. See how close you could get to those. So remember, it's either or 75 or 150. So if you have 120 moderate, you know, that's still pretty great. So have a think how many minutes you're doing across the week. If you did something small each day, a little nugget, that will really help. I get the question, strengthening or cardio. Strengthening and cardio both have their place. I would always recommend to try and have a balance between them both. So you could always try and get in three short strengthening workouts across the week, maybe 2 cardio. The cardio could be a power walk, it could be sitting on the bike, it could be going for a short jog, It could be doing some intervals. On the training app, you'll see that there is intervals when maybe 45 seconds faster, 45 minutes slower, and you could have that as a power walk and a walk. So that cardio is going to help you walk up those hills. The strengthening is going to be helping your bone density, your muscle strength, and helping the longevity of your body. So we need both of them. So really don't overcomplicate it. Quite often with exercise, I take a deep breath and I press start on the app just to get going. And once you're in it, quite often it just goes. 30 minutes would be great if you could do that, a few times a week. Maybe each day you want to try and do 15 minutes. But it does help. Intensity again does matter, but you don't need to be going all out for every exercise session. You might think, okay, I just want some movement a little bit above my usual movement, sedentary movement, and that will help. It doesn't have to be full on, but it wants to be more than your everyday movement intensity. And again, with tracking your exercise, you can use apps such as Strava, but really try and use the training app when you can. Complete each exercise, save it. You can also add in cardio to it as well as you want to. So have a play with the app. Any questions, let me know. But this is a great place for you to keep the record of what you're doing. Okay, lifestyle, this is what we're bringing in this week. So I have created a habit tracker for you to do, which you will get within your messages. And this habit tracker, I would love you to print off and keep an eye on it and complete it for the next 7 days. So your challenge is to drink 2 litres of water a day. So whether or not it's you have a drinking vessel that you carry around with, or you have a glass of water with each meal, and have a pint of water when you wake up, that always helps. Trying to drink water throughout the day. If you find you're going to the bathroom during the evening, when you go to bed, then stop drinking water at say 6:30, 7 o'clock. It's all about getting to know our body, understanding what our body needs. Now, each day I challenge you to go for a 15-minute walk every day, whether or not that means you need to get up that little bit earlier or go out in the evening, or maybe there's a lunchtime. Try and find that nugget for 15 minutes walk a day, and you'll find that will really help your steps. Tracking your sleep. So sleep affects everything. If we don't get enough sleep, then we usually turn to those highly palatable foods the next day, increases your stress levels. So this week, we're not going to think too deeply about sleep, but we want to try and track it and see whether or not we're getting more than 7 hours a night. And we're starting to think about how this is going to affect our body. Lean protein, every day having a source. I would challenge you to try and have a source of lean protein in each meal of the day, as that will really help you, thinking about that 20% of protein within your daily calorie allowance. Okay, 3 veg and 2 fruit. We hear lots about having 5 portions of fruit and veg a day, and then going a little bit further, the recommendation is that you try and have 3 portions of veg and 2 portions of fruit per day. I mean, if that changes, that 3 and 2 changes around a little bit, but you can have more. That is your minimum of the 5 portions of fruit a day. So there's no reason why you can't have more, which would be great. And then your last one on the habit tracker is trying to get in some kind of workout. That doesn't need to be ticked every day, but if possible 3 times a week. But really for that workout, I'm thinking about that minutes across the week. Either that 75 minutes of vigorous, 150 minutes of moderate. That's what we're really thinking there, but the tick and the habit tracker will really help. Okay, so that is your task, and that is going to have a really positive impact on your lifestyle. Okay, so a few more things that I'm going to go through. I was going backwards. Here we go. We're going forwards again. Okay. Next thing we're going to go into a little bit deeper about is your goal setting. Now, you might notice I didn't actually talk about goal setting last week at all. So here's some things I want you to have a think about, and you can have a jot down on a bit of paper. You could pause this video for a little bit just to have a bit more thought about it. We have got 3 slides about goal setting. So first of all, what is your why? Why are you here? Dig in deep. What is your why? Know your why, and that is going to help you go through. So if you write down like why, have a think about what changes you want to make. Now, this could be to your lifestyle, it could be to your fitness, it could be to your nutrition, It might be going back thinking about those habits that we talked about. Maybe you just need to get in some more sleep. Maybe you need to just drink some more water. What kind of changes do you want to make? How will these look? So how will you know that this has got better? How will you know that things have changed? Is it about your energy? Is it about your skin? Is it about your health? Is it about feeling strong, being able to get the washing out of the boot without, feeling that back tweak? How will they look? Will it mean that you can get dressed easier? Will have more mobility? Have a little think, just having a bit of time to think about you and your goals and what are your barriers. So be aware of what your barriers are and how you're going to overcome these. It might be about talking to people. It might be creating more time. It might be acceptance of things the way they are. So you need to maneuver things around. So it's just a little bit of thought. So I would recommend that you pause this video now and you just have a little bit of a depth and think, what is my why? What changes do I need to make? How do they look? What are my barriers? How can I overcome? Is there anyone I need to talk to? Etc., etc. Okay. So these 6 weeks about getting into getting the balance into your life. Yeah, to set and establish sustainable habits. We want habits that are going to take us through and beyond the 6 weeks. So as we're in week 2, think about the next 5 weeks, but also the bigger picture. So I want you to set yourself 5 different goals. An end of reset goal for the end of this 6-week online course. I want you to set yourself a 3-month goal. So 3 months time, end of 3 months from now, 6 months, a year, and a 5-year goal. So these goals, think about your why you're here. Think it is what you can do. Make sure they're smart, make sure they're achievable. Your end of reset goal, it might be you just want to establish some healthier lifestyle habits or get into a fitness routine or have your meal planning sorted, etc., etc. So again, I would pause this and just scribble down some little notes of what you think for each of these goals. Okay, now thinking a little bit deeper about these goals. Who is going to be there to help you? What environment will help you? Is it about surrounding yourself with the people that are going to help you? Is it to do with work? Is it to do with home? Is it about not having snacks in the cupboard? Is it about planning your food, etc., etc.? And what lifestyle choices will help you? Is it when you come home from work, then you need to go for a walk, basically straight away? Is it you are getting someone to come do a workout with you? What is there that is going to help you? And how will you know it's working? So how do you know that this is working? How will I know it's progressing? It might be scale weight, fine. It might be body weight measurements. You might have a piece of clothing that you want to fit in that feels better. It might be your energy levels. It might be your sleep is better. It might be your less cravings, etc., etc. So again, just making a few notes for you to see where you want to be and where you want to go. Okay, moving away from goal setting. So this next part is a meal plan chat. So last week, you'll have established yourself a meal plan. Brilliant. A meal plan that works for you. So I suggest you use that structure that you created last week and develop this so it's a structure you can use week in and week out. You just tweak as you needed. You're just changing 1 or 2 recipes a week, because then you're going to know your calories. You're going to know how much protein is in each meal, and you're going to really get to grips and really nail that meal plan. And then as you become more confident and happier that you're starting to progress and reach those goals, we can then change it up. Now, I also recommend 3 meals a day. You might have 1 meal that is much smaller. You might just have 1 meal that is just soup. But 3 meals a day, we want to keep our calorie balance across the day. Sometimes this might be a bit different if you're intermittent fasting. Might be you have a meal at 11 and then 3 and then 6, or it might be you have 7 a.m., 12 noon and 6 p.m. It's up to you. So if you're intermittent fasting, you will find that you'll have a longer gap between meals. For intermittent fasting, you might not eat until 11 o'clock in the morning, which is fine. And we're just working around that. Again, so lots of protein source chats about this week. Next week, we're going to talk more about the benefits of protein and why we want to have this protein. But now, I want us to know what protein looks like and what protein is and how to get the sources in our meals. So protein source in each meal and the snacks when you can as well. Tracking, if you have these guidelines in place, you've got a structure that you can use week in and week out, you've got your 3 meals a day, you know the content. If you know the calorie content and you understand it and you're happy with it, you don't need to track because you've got your guidelines. Yeah, you've got your guidelines, or perhaps I'm not going to eat after 7 p.m. I'm going to have 3 meals a day. I'm going to have protein. I'm going to have salad. I'm going to have fruit and veg. You don't always have to track, but if you find it helps, do track. If you're not quite sure about the calorie content, track, because it will help you and you don't need to keep going back to do it. So for those who have done the reset before, they might think, oh, I don't need to track because I know the calorie content of this. Okay, talk to me if you need to. Okay, this is new one that we put in here. So have a thought about which foods are going to be weekly choices and which are going to be everyday choices. So you're going to have some foods that will be everyday and some that are going to be weekly choices. So you can develop that. I've got another screen to go a little bit deeper into that. Next point, 2 more points. So I quite often talk about the rainbow plate. So try and have as many colours as you can to get in lots of veggies into your diet, lots of fruits. I mean, fruits are food is of all different colours. So nourish your body with all the different colours because it all brings lots of benefits. And there is a suggestion, you could always try and have 30 plants a week, which is part of the Zoe study, which gives you something that you can focus on and have a go with. Now, this is the everyday choice and the weekly choice that I'm just going to go on to now. So every day you can have your range of fruit and veg. You can have portions of potatoes, rice, bread, rice, pastas needed, dairy, your beans, pulses, fish, eggs, meat, unsaturated oils and spreads, but having them in small amounts. But the weekly choices, we're going to pull back and we're going to try and have those highly palatable, high calorie foods as a weekly choice. So the alcohol, the chocolate, the crisps, the cake, the ice cream, the foods that are high in fat, salt, and sugar, we don't need to be having every day. And quite often we've become into a routine of having them every day, and that's why we then need to reset. So go back to those goals that you're setting and think, right, to reach these goals and see my progress, what do I need to change in my food? What is it that I'm having every day that I don't need to have? I still want you to enjoy food. I still want you to look forward to food. I still want you to have, a palatable diet. But are there things you need to change? So, so you don't want to go into over restriction. So I'm still saying weekly. It's still there. Okay, if you want to talk about that more, let me know. Okay, here are 3 food tips and tricks for you to try this week. Number 1, before you want that highly palatable food choice, pause for thought and choice. It might be that pause means you're just going to go and track it to see how many calories, because we want to try and keep within these daily calories. Have a think, do I need to halt? H-A-L-T. So H is for hungry. Am I hungry? Am I really hungry? Am I angry? Do I feel emotional? Am I lonely? Which might also mean I'm bored. Am I tired? So is there other emotions that need to be supported instead of reaching for food? I will talk about more about emotional eating in another video. But essentially, feeling hungry isn't scary. It can help you to look forward to your meals. But then it's getting that balance. So when you look forward to your meals, you're not overeating. So we're trying to get that balance in. We don't want ourselves to feel over hungry, but actually feeling a bit hungry before your dinner is not a bad thing. It can help you to enjoy your meal more. So quite often food is just so convenient for us to, when we're feeling hungry, angry, lonely, or bored or tired, it can evoke feelings of hunger. But actually, we might not be hungry. So just keep thinking, do I need to halt? Okay, moving on again. Okay, your exercise plan. Plan ahead, plan in what you can. Start steady. We're just on week 2. This wants to be sustainable. It doesn't want to go from no exercise per week to 5 times a week. It wants to be sustainable. You want to feel good from it. Use the training app, strengthening cardio. Let me know if you need any changes to it. And then throughout your day, break up those long periods of not moving by adding in some activity. Okay, any questions with them, please do let me know. Okay, so this week's tasks. Okay, calories. I want you to keep checking in with your calories and know your macronutrient breakdown. So you want to have at least 20% of your daily calories of protein. I would highly recommend using an app now this week, MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck, or you might have another one. But this, or Fitbit is great, but you want to know your breakdown of your calories. You can link MyFitnessPal to the training app and you will see your breakdown of calories on there. Focus on getting at least 20% of protein, if not 30. It's quite a big challenge. The next one is you will have a habit tracker coming through to you in your messages. It's a PDF that you can print off, and it is going to give you 6 habits, and you're going to tick them off as you do them each day. The workout one might not be ticked off every day, but the other ones could. And exercise, use a fitness program, and I want you to again aim for 75 minutes of vigorous or 150 minutes of moderate exercise. So vigorous means you're getting quite out of breath. 150 minutes of moderate means you can chat while you're doing it. So don't be hard on yourself if you're finding it quite tough. That's vigorous. So we want to enjoy it and you want to feel the benefits from it. Okay, and then next week we start to go a little bit deeper about developing and embedding knowledge of the energy balance and how this affects you and your health. So also just want to add on to this is progress, measuring progress. So we want to start thinking about how we're progressing. So in the training app, you can add in body measurements, you can add in your body weight, and with both, you can get a little graph, but I would say the body weight one is a really great one to keep track of because then you'll see a little graph and it will show how your weight will go up and down over the weeks, which is a great way to show your progress. But also you could find a piece of clothing that maybe doesn't fit so well, and maybe it's a bit snug. We want to have that feeling a bit better end of 6 weeks. And then next week, we're going to start looking a little bit more into how we're feeling with our health markers, with our energy levels, our sleep, our skin, etc., etc. So it is really important that we're starting to feel those progress markers change because that is what is going to get us going and keep us going. Remember, those bumps in the road are going to happen, but we're going to get closer to reaching that goal. If we have a bump in the road, we keep going, we don't stop. We have some time, we take a breather, next day we crack on, because not every day is not going to go as planned. It is going to be that there'll be some days you really struggle to get in your protein or exercise or steps, and that's okay. It's what we do over a week, over a month, over a year that matters. It is about our health, it is about feeling fitter, stronger and healthier, feeling more energized and feeling good in your skin. Okay, so if you have any questions, if you have any struggles, reach out to me. You can send me a message on the app. You can come along to the coaching calls when you can come and chat. I will record the coaching calls so other people can benefit as well. And you can always watch back your own coaching call to see how it is. The coaching calls are usually on a Sunday at 8 p.m. But I'll always let you know. If you have questions, throw them at me. And enjoy it. And well done for being here. Well done for listening. And I will be sharing some more videos with you during the week. Okay, take care and good luck for this week.